session of the day, which is on taxes. Now, somebody once said that the only thing certain in life is death and taxes. And the way taxes keep going up in India, I think they're going to lead us sooner to a death, if not anything more. So the presentation today on TCS, tax collected at source, is going to be given by Mr. Jigar Shah, a very young man, but his experience and knowledge goes beyond his age. He is the partner of Gandhi and Associates LLP, chartered accountant firm, and he has more than 10 years of experience of being a chartered accountant. Gandhi and Associates is headed by Mr. Milind Gandhi, who is the senior partner, and Jigar Shah is his junior partner, and they have a team of more than 25 people. They work on direct tax advisory and compliance, on assurance of external and internal matters, on corporate advisory, on valuations, on indirect tax, advisory and compliance, and on legal, regulatory, and compliance matters. The firm also provides comprehensive advisory and support along with capability of internal transactional audit for capital market and allied activities. I will now hand over to Mr. Jigar Shah, and before that, I would like to thank him a lot for giving us this presentation and supporting the BMPA initiative. Over to you, Jigar.
Firstly, thank you, Tushar, just giving me such a kind introduction. And I thank BMPA and everyone over here that they have shown this keen interest to come and understand about the concept. I'll just share my screen so that we can take it forward without any delay.
Just one more thing. All those who need to ask questions, they can put it in the chat box, and the question answers will be taken up at the end of the presentation by Jigar. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, good evening participants over here. So now, as everyone knows, the subject that I'm going to handle is TCS section 206C1H. So as the section itself is, every time there is an addition of new complication. That's why you get 206C, 1A, 1B, 1C, and so on and so forth. That is how we are living in the current times. Anyways, this provision is on TCS on sale of goods. I repeat, sale of goods. Not just a service are not covered under this ambit. This has been applicable from 1st October 2020. Yeah. So a seller of goods is liable to collect TCS from buyer on sale of goods if the turnover of the seller in the preceding year is exceeding 10 crores rupees. I'm going to mix English and Hindi also, so it is for the benefit of the audience at large. So अगर मेरा टर्नओवर पहले के फाइनेंशियल ईयर में 10 करोड़ से ज्यादा हुआ है फॉर सेल ऑफ गुड्स, तो ये प्रोविजन मुझे एप्लीकेबल है. सो फर्स्ट थिंग इज, मैं मेरा देखूं कि मेरा 10 करोड़ के ऊपर गया तो मैं बॉदर हूं. ओके, हुआ, देन लेट्स गो टू द नेक्स्ट कंडीशन. सो नेक्स्ट कंडीशन इज कि मैं जो भी आदमी को 50 लाख से ज्यादा का बेचता हूं, सो व्हेन आई एम सेलिंग सम गुड्स टू अ पर्सन फॉर मोर देन 50 lakhs in a financial year, एक साल में, then I am subject to collect TCS from the buyer. Third, this amount is applicable, or rather TCS is applicable only when the limit of 50 lakhs is crossed. So in simple words वैसे बोल सकते हैं कि 50 लाख के ऊपर का जो अमाउंट है उस पे ही TCS applicable है. So अगर क्वेश्चन आएगा कि भाई मेरा कलेक्शन 49 lakhs का हुआ तो TCS लेना है, आंसर इज नो, क्योंकि पहले 50 लाख का बेसिक एग्जाम्पशन लिमिट है. I will cover various examples on this towards the later part of my slide. I'm just giving you a brief on the section and provision. The rate of TCS is 0.1% if the pen of buyer is available and 1% if pen is not available. Thereafter, May में एक notification आया था wherein the relief was given कि भाई जो भी रेट है उसका 75% ही आप TDS या TCS काटो. So let's say 0.1 है तो TCS applicable rate 0.075 है. However, I will say कि we should stick to 0.1 because वो notification में और other press release में एक typographical error है which says 0.75. So वो लोग ने relief के बदले amount बढ़ा दिया, 0.1 का 0.75 कर लिया. So in order to be on the safer side and not the cautious side, I would say we should go with 0.1% only, disregarding the fact of the press release. Any questions on this also, I will be happy to take it towards the end of the session. As I said earlier, this provision is applicable only from 1st October 2020 onwards. So any sales or collection made prior to 1st October 20 are not part of this provision. Exceptions. This one should understand properly, and in fact, one of the questions I just saw in the chat box will also take care of this. The exceptions that the TCS is not liable to be collected on if you have done export of goods. Agar I am doing export of goods, TCS is not applicable. Sale of good to central or state government. यदि कोई मैं government को बेचता हूं, then it is not applicable. I am specifying government, not a government undertaking. The act is very clear. It says state or central government. Second, thereafter is embassy or consultant of foreign state. कि अगर फॉरेन का कोई कंट्री का इधर कोई कंसल्टेंट है, एम्बेसी है, उसको हम लोग कुछ भी बेचते हैं तो उस पर टीसीएस एप्लीकेबल नहीं है. सेम गोज विद म्युनिसिपैलिटी, कंटोनमेंट बोर्ड और पंचायत. Also that sales of goods on which TCS is already subjected, that is sale of liquor, जो आज की तारीख में भी liquor sale was anyway subject to TCS, timber sale, scrap sale, vehicle, ये सब जगह पे TCS already था ही. So where it is already there, this provision is not going to be affected. You have to go to the relevant provision और उसमें जो rate है वही काटना पड़ेगा. So if I am looking at the industry at large, that what we are dealing it, anyways you are not doing a sale of liquor, timber, scrap or anything, इसलिए अपने लिए 2061H ही काम लगेगा. Or they have also specified कि if you have any income on which TDS is deducted, then also it is not subject to TCS. So ये example and widely so for us is कि मानो मैं printing industry में हूँ, किसी ने मुझे पेपर की कार्डबोर्ड भेजा प्रिंटिंग के लिए और मैं प्रिंटिंग करके वापस उसको भेजता हूँ. So I am just doing a job work. So then over there my invoice is also of job work and a service invoice. ये invoice पे वो सामने वाला बंदा anyways TDS काटने वाला था as a job worker. So I will not consider this sale which I am making back pursuant to job work as a sale of goods. So that's why TCS won't be applicable in that case. Yeah. So when is TCS to be collected? TCS to be collected at the time of receipt of amount from the buyers towards the sale of goods. So the liability happens only when you receive the amount. जब आपको बेचा तब TCS एप्लीकेबल नहीं है, बेचने के बाद जब भी पैसा आता है तब TCS एप्लीकेबल है. Next point is whether sale consideration includes GST component. कि मुझे अगर GST लगाया है मैंने सेल पे तो TCS कौन से अमाउंट पे लगेगा. So just take a simple example कि 100 रुपए का सेल है, उस पे 18 रुपया GST लगा है. So 118 हुआ as receivable from the party. So the answer is कि whatever you are receiving is subject to TCS. So in this case 118 is subject to TCS. This is not a double taxation because ये TCS का credit उसको मिल ही जाता है. So many people has this notion stating that ये double taxation होता है. So this is not a double taxation. It is just a levy and a collection that is being done by the income tax foreign on behalf of the client. Next, one second. Yeah. So now this is just an example for a better clarity that I am taking. If a seller has made sales more than rupees 50 lakhs between 1st April 20 to 30th September 20, that is prior to the period that this provision came into act, to a client, then whether TCS is to be collected for those sales. Answer is TCS to be collected on the amount received. I have highlighted and underlined so that it is clear only on receipt in excess of rupees 50 lakhs, provided that such amount in excess of rupees 50 lakhs is received on or after 1st October 20. So 1st October 20 के बाद मुझे कोई पैसा आया तो ही TCS applicable है, but only on amount which is excess of 50 lakhs. So the answer further goes any sales amount received before 1st October 20 does not attract TCS. Hence, in the given example, the receipt over rupees 50 lakhs will attract TCS if the amount is received on or after 1st October 20. Otherwise, it will not attract TCS. Is everyone following, or do you want me to go a bit slow? Yeah, Tushar?
I think it's okay at this space. I would
Yeah.
request all the participants that if they are not following anything, अगर किसी को कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, आप प्लीज अपने क्वेश्चंस नोट करके चैट बॉक्स में डाल दें. We will have enough time after his presentation to ask whatever you wish. काफी टाइम मिलेगा आपको अपने क्वेश्चंस पूछने के लिए. जिगर, प्लीज कैरी ऑन. थैंक यू.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So next FAQ is, if seller has made a sale to a client between 1st April 19 to 30th September 20 of 51 lakhs and received the entire amount on or after 1st October 20, then TCS will be charged on rupees 51 lakhs. So मानो मैंने सेल कर लिया जब TCS का प्रोविजन आया उसके पहले, बट पैसा मुझे आ रहा है 1 अक्टूबर 20 के पहले जब प्रोविजन आया, तो टीसीएस चार्ज करना कि नहीं करना? सो टीसीएस विल बी चार्ज ऑन द अमाउंट रिसीव्ड ऑन और आफ्टर 1 अक्टूबर 20. जो मैंने पहले बोला कि 1 अक्टूबर 20 के बाद जो भी पैसा आया है उस पे ही हम लोग टीसीएस चार्ज करेंगे. पहले जो भी आ गया वी विल इग्नोर दैट. सो 1 अक्टूबर के बाद 50 लाख के ऊपर, जो मैंने बोला 50 लाख का एक बेसिक एग्जम्पशन लिमिट है, सो 50 लाख के ऊपर जो भी पैसा आया उस पे ही टीसीएस चार्ज होगा. सो अपने एग्जांपल में मानो ये 51 lakhs इज रिसीव्ड ऑन 1 अक्टूबर 20, तो 51 माइनस 50 सिर्फ 1 लाख पे टीसीएस अपने को चार्ज करना है. अगर यही पैसा 1 अक्टूबर 20 के पहले आ गया होता तो 0 rupees इज द टीसीएस. नेक्स्ट इज,
I'll just interrupt you here with a question.
या
जो ये 50 lakhs आप बोल रहे हो कि 50 lakhs क्रॉस होने के बाद ही टीसीएस लगेगा,
करेक्ट,
और अगर किसी ने 50 lakhs का कलेक्शन 1 अक्टूबर के पहले कर लिया है,
करेक्ट,
तो 1 अक्टूबर से तुरंत लागू हो जाएगा टीसीएस.
यस.
सवाल ये है कि ये 50 lakhs का कलेक्शन रिसीट कब से काउंट करना है? डू वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट द रिसीट?
Sorry, 1 second, there is some issue. Am I audible?
Jigar, you are audible. It is Tushar who went offline.
Okay.
Tushar, please, sorry, Jigar, please continue. When Tushar comes back online, we'll continue. Please continue.
Yeah. Also to answer what Tushar anyway said, कि ये 50 lakhs का लिमिट कब से कंटिन्यू कैलकुलेट करना है. सो रिसीट 1 अप्रैल 2020 से लेके मेरा 50 लाख तक का रिसीट हुआ, वो केस में तब तक मेरा टीसीएस एप्लीकेबल नहीं है. 50 लाख क्रॉस होता है उसके बाद एप्लीकेबल है. सो मानो मेरा 1 अप्रैल 20 से लेके 30th सितंबर तक 50 लाख हो गया तो मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अगर मानो 25 lakhs ही हुआ तो 1 अक्टूबर 20 के बाद जो एडिशनल 25 lakhs आता है उस पे वापस टीसीएस नहीं लगेगा. सो collection receipt we have to consider 50 lakhs for this financial year starting from 1st April 20 onwards. Hope it is clear. If not, I will be happy to take the questions on the same.
Yeah, it's clear now. We'll ask the questions at the end. Continue, Jigar,
Correct.
please.
Yeah. Next is, if seller has made a sales of rupees 51 lakhs to a client and received the entire amount before 1st October 20, then whether TCS is attracted. मानो एक पार्टी से 51 lakhs का मेरा सेल हुआ और रिसीट भी हो गया जब से प्रोविजन आया उसके पहले, और मानो वो पार्टी से बाद में पूरे फाइनेंशियल ईयर में कोई ट्रांजैक्शन नहीं है, तो टीसीएस इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल. अगर मानो यही पार्टी से ट्रांजैक्शन बाद में वापस होता है 1 अक्टूबर 20 के बाद, तो आपका डायरेक्टली जो भी पैसा है उस पर पूरा टीसीएस लगेगा. Yeah. Next, if a seller has made sales to a client between 1st April 20 and 30th September 20 of 51 lakhs and received 40 lakhs before 1st October 20, before the provision has kicked in, and balance 11 lakhs is received on or after 1st October 20, then TCS will apply on which amount? Answer is CBDT has clarified that since the limit of 50 lakhs is respect to the financial year, calculation of the receipt of sale consideration for triggering TCS shall be computed from 1st April 20 onwards. Hence, if a person being a seller has already received 50 lakhs or more up to 30th September 20 from a buyer, TCS shall apply on all receipt of sale consideration on or after 1st October 2020 from such buyer. So this is, I guess, the same question what Tushar Bhutika said, and at least the same reply is also over here. Further, CBDT has further clarified that TCS shall be applicable only on the amount received on or after 1st October 20. So in our case, first 40 lakhs, which is received prior to 1st October 20, TCS is not applicable because the provision was not there. However, for the balance 11 lakhs received after 30th September 20, TCS will be applicable on 1 lakh. 1 lakh is total 51. 51 is the total receipt minus 50 lakhs ka basic exemption, despite rupees 11 lakhs received on or after 30th September 20. Hope I am clear on this. Yeah. If seller has an outstanding amount of 51 lakhs to be collected from the buyer on 1st April 20, I'm stating starting of the financial year, if I was required or other, there was a receivable in my books for rupees 51 lakhs. And same is received on or after 1st October 20. Then whether TCS is applicable? Answer is yes. TCS shall be applicable on rupees 1 lakh, that is total 51 lakhs received after 1st October 20 minus 50 lakhs ka basic exemption, irrespective of the fact that sale was effected in a earlier financial year. Next is whether GST is to be charged by the seller on the amount of sale including TCS. So this question is other way around कि मानो मैंने TCS चार्ज कर लिया एक बायर को, उस पे GST लगेगा? So answer is no. TCS under the provision of income tax would not be includable as it is an interim levy, not having any character of tax. So TCS पे GST नहीं लगेगा, but GST पे TCS लगेगा. Hope I am clear on this. When the collected TCS amount, when is the collected TCS amount to be remitted to the government? This is as good as a normal TDS का हम लोग जैसे करते हैं कि TCS जो भी collect किया है, by 7th of the following month, you have to pay the same. So example, if TCS is collected in October 20, the same should be remitted on or before of 7th of November, which is by tomorrow. When is TCS return to be filed? TCS return is to be filed by end of the quarter, but within 15 days from the end of the quarter. Is TCS applicable on advance payment? Answer is yes. So one need to think through any receipt in my bank account is subject to TCS if it is for the sale of goods. So same way, if advance payment is received, which is for the sale of goods, it is subjected to TCS. Since TCS is to be collected on advance payment, what shall be the course of action in case of advance has to be refunded as the sale is not effected? So मानो हमने advance collect कर लिया, but for whatever reason हमारा sale नहीं हुआ and we have to refund back the same amount to the proposed buyer. The answer is where the seller received the advance for selling the goods and he deposited the TCS thereon. However, later on such deals stand cancelled. In such a case, post the month end, no refund of TCS can be made to the buyer. Buyer can claim the credit of TCS amount while depositing advance tax and or determining the final tax liability. So एक बार मेरे पास एडवांस आ गया, मैंने TCS काट के गवर्नमेंट को पे कर लिया, उसके बाद मेरे पास कोई तरीका नहीं है कि मैं वो TCS वापस लाऊं. So the buyer can take the credit of TCS in his income tax return and accordingly his tax liability will be adjusted. Whether the rate of TCS shall be reduced by 25% in line with the COVID-19 relief measure announced by the government. TCS under section 206C1H shall be reduced by 25%, that is the rate which TCS is to be collected, shall be 0.75% up to 31st March 2021. I am saying up to 31st March 2021, 25% relief का अगर हम लोग consider करते हैं, तो 0.075 होता है. However, with respect to the press release of the Central Board of Direct Tax dated 13 May 2020, this is the same press release which I was referring to earlier. The reduced TCS rate is shown as 0.75 instead of 0.075. This seems to be an error made by CBDT. Hence, in order to be on the safer side, it is advised to follow the original rate of 0.1 and not 0.075. TCS is to be applied despite the fact that assessee has no turnover in the entire year and has received the sale consideration with respect to sale made in the earlier year. Yes. Yeah.
Jigar, your slides are not changing.
Yeah.
So if you could
Yeah.
just check on that.
Is it proper now?
Screen is continuing. No, it still shows.
1 second, I will reshare the. Yeah. Now can you see?
Yes, it's correct now, Jigar.
Yeah. Is TCS to be applied despite the fact that assessee has no turnover in the entire year and has received the sale consideration with respect to a sales made in earlier year? मानो मेरा ये साल में कोई turnover नहीं है. My sales turnover is 0 to any of the clients. But मेरा पहले का receivable outstanding है. और जो पैसा मुझे 1 October 20 के बाद आ रहा है and which exceeds 50 lakhs, तो TCS applicable है? Answer is yes, because this is irrespective of the current year sales. The consideration is कि 10 करोड़ का मेरे पहले के साल का टर्नओवर था, तो TCS ये साल applicable है. Is TCS to be collected in case of sale to a PSU? I'm specifying this point because यहाँ पे थोड़ा ambiguity है. If someone is dealing with a government entity or a PSU, then there is a TDS on GST. और यहाँ पे दूसरा सब पहले के प्रोविजन में हमने देखा था कि अगर किसी ने अपना TDS काटा है तो हम लोग को उस पे TCS चार्ज करना जरूरी नहीं है. So I will stress this point कि TDS on GST is not the same as TDS in income tax, as we say. So income tax में ही TDS काटा है कि income tax में ही TCS काटा है, तो आपको ये प्रोविजन से एग्जम्पशन है. दूसरे कोई भी एक्ट में अगर TDS TCS नाम का कुछ भी काटा है, आपको उससे कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. Why I am stressing it again? क्योंकि PSU entity, so let's say एग्जांपल देता हूँ BHEL, भेल, भारत हेवी इलेक्ट्रिकल्स लिमिटेड, वो PSU कहलाती है. वो उसको TDS और GST एप्लीकेबल है. So उसका मतलब हो गया कि मुझे TCS नहीं काटना चाहिए. Answer is wrong, because exemption is given to only state and central government, not state and central government owned undertaking. So in my case, in this, if we are dealing with a PSU, still the provision for TCS is applicable. How should the seller collect TCS from buyer? It is recommended to send a debit note to the buyer at the time of receipt of sale consideration. However, this is up to the discretion of the seller, because under the act they have not mentioned कि TCS मैं buyer से कब लूं, कैसे लूं. It is just a recommendatory to do it by a debit note. Given the exception that TCS is not applicable in case of transaction where the buyer has to deduct TDS under any provision of the act, it is important to note that word act refers to Income Tax Act 1961. Hence, transaction involving TDS on GST under CGST Act, SGST Act do not fall within the ambit of the exception. In such case, TDS on GST under CGST Act, SGST Act, TCS will be applicable. This is reiteration of what I said in earlier slide. Yeah, that's all for me in terms of presentation and FAQs. Thank you for joining. I'm happy to take all the queries that the audience has.
Fantastic, Jigar. Very, very crisp indeed. Wow. Great. So, if you could just stop screen sharing, Jigar. Yeah. Okay. So now I hope a lot of the doubts have already been answered by Jigar. लेकिन हाँ, मैं समझता हूँ बहुत सारे चीजों को वापस लोग पूछना चाहेंगे, समझना चाहेंगे, बिकॉज थोड़ा सा ये शॉर्ट में शायद बहुत सी चीजें कंफ्यूजिंग हो जाती हैं. I will request everybody who has questions to put it in the chat box, which is there at the bottom of your screen. If you see in the center, there is an icon which says chat. वो chat के ऊपर आप click करके आपके questions वहाँ डाल सकते हैं. So one by one, I will try and put it to Jigar. I would start with my question first, Jigar, which earlier I asked and then I got cut off.
Yeah.
So if collection, from which date is the 50 lakh to be tabulated? Is it from the 1st of April or from the 1st of October? In other words, I'll rephrase it. अगर 50 लाख का जो कलेक्शन का जो एक बॉर्डर है गवर्नमेंट का कि 50 लाख पूरा होने के बाद ही टीसीएस लागू करना है, वो 50 लाख की गिनती कब से शुरू होती है? 1 रुपी कब से स्टार्ट होता है?
Correct. So in fact, after you just got cut off, there was a specific slide for this which caters to this question. I will just reiterate for the benefit of audience at large. So मानो मेरा collection है total 51 lakhs का. 51 lakhs में से 40 lakhs I have received prior to 1st October 2020. 11 लाख पहली अक्टूबर के बाद आए.
When you say 1st April onwards?
Yeah.
First April. So basically 1st April से चालू होता है.
Correct. So you have to calculate कि 1st April 2020 से लेके अभी तक अगर मेरा 50 लाख का रिसीट हो गया तो उसके बाद जो भी पैसा है उस पे टीसीएस एप्लीकेबल है. सो मानो 1st अप्रैल से लेके 30th सितंबर तक अगर
Jigar, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. But I guess your screen is not visible. It's freeze.
जो ये 50 lakhs का काउंट चालू होता है, that starts from 1st April 2020.
Correct.
All receipts starting 1st April 2020 will be added up. और जब भी वो 50 लाख होता है, whether it is before 30th September, तो वो 1st October से ही TCS चालू हो जाएगा.
Correct.
और अगर it happens after 30th September, after 1st October, जिस दिन भी वो 50 lakhs टच हो जाता है,
Correct.
तो 50 lakh and 1 rupees से वो TCS 0.1% चालू होएगा.
Correct. You are exactly correct.
Just an addition question to this, that 50 lakhs collection includes taxes also?
Yeah. So it is collection. So collection includes GST also.
Okay, great.
So shall we, I guess Tushar is again freezed.
Yeah, there's a question which says that is TCS applicable on credit notes, Jigar bhai?
So similar.
So as I said, ki
Hello?
Tushar, your signal is very bad, so you put off your video. I'll ask the question.
Put off my video. Yeah, I'll put off my video. Okay.
yeah.
Great. So the next question is,
Tushar, sorry, before that I will just
already
take
somebody-
Fahim's question. Yeah.
Please,
So
please.
Fahim, as you asked, ki whether TCS is applicable on credit notes, or I will just extend it to debit notes also in that case, whether you have to reverse the TCS or not. Actually, this will never be a scenario because we are collecting TCS on receipt basis only. So whether you're passing a credit note or a debit note does not affect the nature of charging of TCS.
Very clear, very clear. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, if the payment is received in October 2020 against the bill raised before September 2020, then they already crossed 50 lakhs up to 30th September 2020. So what happens in that scenario?
So in that scenario, let's say if my receipt is already exceeding 50 lakhs in by 30th September 20, then any amount of receipt from 1st October 20 will be subject to TCS.
In fact, I would just like to add one more question to that, Jigar. As
Yeah.
I understand that the collections in which start on 1st April, even
Yeah.
if they are relating to earlier financial year, so if
Correct.
1st April में तुमको मार्च या जनवरी का भी पेमेंट मिला,
Yes.
तो भी उसको गिनना पड़ेगा. That will add up to the 50 lakhs. So
Correct.
irrespective of whichever year they may belong to, even if it is 10 years ago ka bill, but if the collection is after 1st April, we have to add it up to calculate the 50 lakhs.
Correct.
Great. So now I'll come to the next question. I see a question from Miss Sharmili Datta. Her question is that already TCS is being charged at 0.075%. So is there a need for rectification?
Okay.
Yeah, you
So
can answer that.
yeah. So as I said, if you read the press release harmoniously, it should be 0.075, which you have just mentioned. But if one has to go strictly by the act and by the rule, at present it says 0.75 because there is a typographical error. I was waiting for government to come out with a notification or a clarification on the same, but until now we haven't received anything. But if you look at harmoniously 0.075, I would suggest it is okay.
Okay. I'll just go back a little bit on a question I missed out from Shamwal Parmar. It is asking TCS applicability on credit notes for rejection of goods. I think it is similar to what Fahim asked, but maybe you can answer
Correct.
that again. Yeah.
So as I said, credit notes or debit notes are just the entries that you are passing in the books for whatever reason it could be. But TCS is applicable only on receipt basis. So I am least bothered to check whether it's a credit note or a debit note. I have to just see whether the amount is received in my bank or in some form of a credit to me. If I have received that amount, then it is subject to TCS.
Okay. The next question is from Vaibhav Patil. His question is October 20 to March 20. I think that should be October 20 to March 21.
Yeah.
TCS rate is 0.075% or 0.1%. Please clarify that again, Jigar.
So as I just said, based on the press release, and the intention was to give the benefit to the associate large in terms of free cash flow in their hand. That's why they had done a reduction of 25% on all the withholding taxes. But unfortunately, in the press release note, if you just see on this part by typographical error, they have mentioned 0.75 as opposed 0.075. So I would suggest, if you are reading it harmoniously, one should definitely go with 0.075, and hopefully government will come out with some clarification on the same. Yeah, I guess Tushar is again.
Okay. The next question is, can TCS be charged on an invoice or not?
So TCS liability is only on receipt basis, as I have said again and again. Yes, many people that we are also looking at in the industry, they are charging TCS at the time of invoice only for the sake of simplicity, so that at least the customer, the total amount, the principal plus GST plus TCS. So many people are charging at the time of invoice only. If you are planning to take that route, then I would say yes, you charge in the invoice, then you park this TCS into a control account, and you pay TCS to the credit of government only on receipt basis. So you do a reconciliation outside the books for what is received on month-to-month basis, and then pay TCS accordingly. Because if you charge it at the time of invoice and pay it right and then the issue will come, as the earlier one of the contestants asked, what will happen about credit notes. So then, because if you have charged at the invoice, then let's say there's a credit note or a debit note, then how you will tackle that? So if you are charging at the time of invoice, then only you have to think for a credit note, debit note. But I would suggest you can park it into a control account as if it is just a liability account, but actual liability to the government will be only on receipt of the funds from the customer. Hope this is clear to the people.
Yeah, thank you, Jigar. The next question is about debit note again. So we're going to omit that question because it's already been answered. The next question from Vaishali Shete is TCS is applicable on receipts, but do we have to wait up to payment or we pay on every month 7th? I think this has also been answered.
Yeah, but if I will just reiterate the facts so that it is clear for them. So let's say if I have received amount from 1st October to 30th of October, whatever amount that I have received on which 0.075, the rate of TCS is what you have to pay by 7th of subsequent month. So it's purely receipt for the earlier month that you are paying by 7th of the next month. I hope Vaishali, the answer is being given to the satisfactory of your query.
The next question is about the TCS collected has to be paid by when. Again, that has just been answered. The next question is tomorrow is the due date to pay the TCS, but on the TIN NSDL portal, the section has not yet been updated. Please guide us.
Correct. So in fact, the query is very genuine. So if you see some days back, there was a section shown on the TIN NSDL portal as 6CP, that was TCS on sale of good, but today they have changed that 6CP for as opposed sale on good to remittance out of India. So the query is bang on, but if you ask me personally, I don't have an answer to that because they have just recently changed on the back end.
So does that mean we wait till that solution has come and then we make the TCS payments?
No, I wouldn't suggest to that. In fact, I would say, though it's not a correct solution, but in order to avoid the statutory delay, I would say you pay under a separate section, other section or a sales section, because this is just a mechanism for remitting the amount to the government. Irrespective of the section, you can adjust it, the payment made in your TCS return. So that's why I wouldn't suggest to delay the payment.
And which section would you suggest we should make the payment under?
I would suggest to make it under TCS for sale of good in cash. At least we are somewhere near that it is sale of good, though not 100% accurate.
And would you know by offhand what that code is?
I will have to just check and I will get back to you on that. Give me a minute for that. But anyways, we can take another queries by that time.
All right. Again, there's another question from Hemant Botika which says, we have raised a debit note for the TCS amount, but the customer has not paid the same. So should we be paying out of our pocket or wait till the customer pays?
So actually, I'm not able to understand this question completely because debit note for TCS is for the period prior to 30th September. If that is the case, then anyways, you have charged to the customer. Now, as and when customer makes the payment for the total amount, that is where you will pay TCS to the government. Your liability also does not start. You have just raised the debit note. Your liability starts only when the party pays you.
I'll just try and rephrase it. Basically, what Hemant is asking is that do we have to deposit the TCS with the government after we receive the TCS amount, or the liability and onus is on us as collection agents? So whether the client pays us or not, we have to pay it.
So again, that is the approach that you see, because you are saying okay, you have charged TCS separately and the party has not paid for TCS. I would consider the other way around. Let's say if your 100 rupees was the receivable and you have charged TCS, let's say for the sake of example, rupees 2. So effectively you have asked the client to pay 102 rupees, but client just pays you 100 rupees. Then I would say you pay TCS only proportionate to 100. Because what you have received, you can pay only to from that extent. Na? Tushar, I guess you are on mute.
Does that answer your question, Tushar?
Well, not really. What basically Hemant is trying to ask is, let me try and give you a concrete example. So if the sale collection from a client has crossed 50 lakhs and say in October end, there was a collection of 60 lakhs, that means 10 lakhs in excess of 50 lakhs.
Correct.
And as on 31st October, we raise a debit note client for that 0.1% on 10 lakhs, which is 1,000 rupees. And the deposit that with the government is the 7th of November,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
So now the client
Yes.
has not yet paid me that 1,000 rupees as on 7th of November.
Correct.
Say, I mean, do I still have to deposit that 1,000 rupees?
So over here, I will change the stand. I will say, as you rightly said, you have received 10 lakhs rupees. I will consider this 10 lakhs rupees is inclusive of TCS received. So proportionately, automatically, you will pay the TCS. Though you raise a debit note for the balance amount, as and when he pays, then again you pay the proportionate TCS. So at least you are not out of pocket and you are paying on whatever is received.
Well, in any way, the liability is mine. So effectively, I will still need to recover those 1,000 odd rupees in the future.
Yes, from
And
the
in case, so
client.
what happens if the client refuses to pay at all? If the client decides that I'm not going to pay, or I've shut down business with him for whatever reason, and he has not paid me that 1,000 rupees, he will till the end of shutting down the business. So even then, I have to either incur that 1,000 rupee loss or pay to the government, right?
Yes, you are right. So I would like to say sorry on this, but you are right. This will be an expenditure for you if the client does not pay to you.
Okay, great. Fine. So we move forward. Mr. Santosh Nivagune is asking, is charging TCS on sale invoices advisable?
So I guess this question is already taken up again.
Yeah, okay. Next question again from Mr. Shamual Parmar. Is TCS need to be included in our PO for our vendor who has crossed the limit? So this is, I think, applicable to our purchases, PO for our vendor who has crossed the limit. But I think that's more of an internal
So
control.
this is correct. And TCS, anyways, we are concern is only TCS on sale. So from purchase point of view, if he insists, then it's a separate story. We are least bothered on this.
So what probably he means is कि whether उसको जो purchase order issue कर रहा है to his vendor, उस पे include होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए. But I guess that the government has got nothing to do in that. It's an internal control
Correct,
which
exactly.
one has to exercise within his company.
Yeah.
I don't see any more questions currently.
There was one question about SEZ unit, Jigar.
Yeah.
Is TCS applicable for SEZ units?
So if SEZ is a deemed sales or rather deemed export, pursuant to which export are exempt from TCS.
All right. So that brings us to the end of the questions. Tushar, any other questions from your side?
Sorry, one clarification which one had asked, okay, for the timing, which section should be used for depositing TCS? The section could be 6CM, that is TCS on sale in cash of any goods other than bullion and jewelry.
So let's clarify that once again. The section is called 6CM.
CM, yeah.
All right. We've just received another question which
Can you
says,
just type it in the chat box, please, Jigar? Can you type it in the chat box for convenience of?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, there's one more question from Hemant. The question is, what happens if we have already received 60 lakhs between 1st April to 30th September? Then do we have to pay tax on 10 lakhs which was received before 30th September? I think the answer to that is no. It's
Correct.
only on collections exceeding 50 lakhs post 1st of October.
On or after 1st October 20. Yes.
So just for clarity, Yeah, so just for clarity of others also who may be having a similar doubt, if your collections have crossed 50 lakhs or more before the 1st of October, that does not count for payment of TCS against that amount crossing 50 lakhs. Whatever collections of 50 lakhs or more after 1st of October, only that counts for TCS. Right. Yeah. One more question from my team, Jigar, is that if
Yeah.
we are not charging TCS in the invoice and we decide
Mhm.
to raise one single debit note to each client every month at the end of the month,
Correct.
I think that should be okay.
Yeah. That's what, in fact, I had suggested
That's
in
okay.
the PPT also. Yeah. Ideally, it should be through debit note.
Right. Great. Fine. So I think we have come to end of the questions and the end of your presentation, Jigar. Thank you very much
Yeah.
once again for a lovely and crisp presentation. I do hope it
Thank
has
you.
cleared a lot of doubts of all the participants. I am sure there must have been many more participants than we actually see because, for example, in my office, there are so many of us sitting here, but we're just on one video screen.
Correct.
Any of the participants, if they have any more queries, they can mail it to the BMPA office
Tushar,
and we
just
shall
have one
try and
question coming in.
answer.
If
Yeah,
I can
please.
draw your attention to the chat box, there is a new question.
Okay, so there's just one more question which has just come in, Jigar, from Pankaj Kulkarni. It says, if we are charging TCS in invoices at 0.075%, but sale made in March 21, all payment of March or balance amount received in April 21, what will be the differential of 0.025? Is, if I understand rightly, what the gentleman is trying to ask, Jigar, is for collections post 1st April 21.
Correct.
And suppose I have a bill of March in which I have charged 0.075%,
Correct.
but the collection comes in post 1st April 21 when the 75% rebate ends.
Correct.
So then what happens?
So as I said, the best
Good
way
question.
or the recommended way of collecting TCS from the customer is via debit note. So if you are using that way of charging, then you will not face this issue. But yes, we have seen many people having the issue that if we raise a debit note separately, then client may not pay off. So that's why they are charging it in the invoice. And now, as Mr. Pankaj Kulkarni is saying that you are charging in invoice at the rate 0.075 right now. So what will happen if the said amount is collected only after 1st April 2021? So his concern is completely correct. If the receipt of that amount is after 1st April 21, then he will have to pay 0.1%. So what will happen about the differential amount? So answer is, if there is any outstanding in your case as on 31st March 2021, you will have to issue a differential debit note for 0.025 for the year ended.
Okay, fantastic. So that was a googly bowl to you, Jigar, and you hit it out of the stadium.
And
Great.
Tushar,
Fantastic.
Fahim too wants to come in
So,
to have a few words. So please invite Fahim.
yeah. So first of all, let me thank Jigar once again for the lovely presentation. And as
Thank
I've
you.
already said, anybody who has any further queries can mail it to the BMPA. And we will try and get it across to Jigar and he can answer it. One fact which I forgot to
Sure.
mention at the beginning of Jigar's introduction, that he's already for the BMPA. So he's always available to us.
Yeah,
Thank you very much,
definitely.
Jigar. On behalf of the entire BMPA team, we thank you. Before we
Thanks a lot.
close, Fahim Ekbotwala would like to announce the next webinar. Fahim, please.
Yeah, thank you, Tushar, and thank you, Jigar, as well as Anoop and all the people who have joined us today. The next webinar is on the 27th of this month at 4 p.m. The title is How to Survive the Next 6 Months. This is a very, very critical subject. We will be talking about how to control key expense heads and look at how revenue can be increased. We all realize that the past 6-7 months have been very difficult. The next 6-7 months are also going to be very difficult and critical. So how are we going to survive that? The speaker is going to be RK of Technova, and it's going to be hosted by Mr. Mehul Desai of Mail Order Solutions. So the invite will go out very soon. I request you all to please block your diaries for the 27th of this month at 4 p.m. Thank you once again, Tushar, Jigar, as well as Anupam. Anup.
Thank you, guys. Wish you all a very good evening. Thank you and bye.
Bye.